Welcome to this lesson of TypeRoof Shell. We're going to show how to animate color in the stage and actors layout. This builds upon lessons we had earlier. So I'm starting at fontbureau.github.io typeroof/docs, which is our documentation landing page. And I'm navigating to UserKit, which is the landing page for the user documentation. And we have some lessons here. And you will need some knowledge of these lessons in the upcoming lesson, which I prepared here. It's called Animate Color. And I put some of the required resources as links down here, which is the TypeRoof shell, the application we are going to use, which is also available via this link in the sidebar. I open it in a new tab. I'm going to show you the end result of what we want to achieve, which is a state, which I can copy into my clipboard. I used Ctrl+C for this. You can also right-click and copy. And I go to Shell, Application Meta, Save, Load and Share, paste my state, and press Deserialize, which succeeded. If you are new to this, you may, let me change the font, and reset this. I delete this. If you're new to this, you didn't have the font installed in your app, and when you deserialize it, you'll get an error message which tells you that the resource, which is a font with this longish name, is missing. For that reason, I put a link into this. There's also a lesson about this, which is called Custom Fonts, where you can watch it as well. And you can download this font from this link or via the GitHub repository. This is all explained in the other lesson. And then you can install it here, and then from your hard disk you can select the font and load it. From that point, the font is stored in local storage in your browser, so this stays here between reloads and between powering your computer off and on. So once installed, you don't have to care. And now that it's installed, my demo works again. With it selected the font automatically, and I can show you the demo that we are going to create today, which is Decovar going into a slightly pressing pause here, more evil version, which is called Necrovar. We have Halloween soon, so this is a Halloween themed type animation. So there are two things going on: the text content and the location of the text is changing, and the color is changing. Going back to the UserKit page and get this initial state. Copy it and load it in here. And as you can see, I removed the color animation because that's what this lesson is all about. So let's look at the stage manager. We have a line of text properties. I'm going to turn this off because that's not the default. I'm going to show you this later. The line of text has 6 different key moments, and what these do and all of the settings we've made there are discussed in the general animation. lesson in the user kit, lesson 4, create a simple animation. So if you have done that lesson, you should be able to understand what's happening here. I'm going to walk you through anyways, so shortly though. The top one defines, Decorar top defines the text content of this line of text, which is the only actor on stage. Decorar defines the font size, which is at 66, which is default for no specific reason, and the width of 720, which we need. We need a space to be known, to be able to center upon it. And 720 pixels is the width, the default width of our stage. And the Y coordinate is 0, so this is at the top. And then at the bottom, we have the Y coordinate set to 600, and we use this style which is called Mayhem, which basically, if I show you all the axes, is setting a lot Decorar axes to some value and creates this scattered effect, this mayhem effect. And this is also kind of the inspiration for the Halloween themed demo. You could do this manually, but I just used the mayhem effect in this case. And then the rest of the key moments only define text contents. So the last one, as the first one, defines Decorar. The second one, the Decorar one, and the one before the last one, both change the text content to Decorar. So we have the text change gradually from Decorar to Decorar, and on the way back from Decorar to Decorar again. And when we are at the top, we have the start situation. And before and after bottom, there's just before hitting bottom, there's the Necrovar one. So this sets the full transformation of the word Decorar to changing the N to the D to N and adding this R, the Necrovar, which is the full horror themed Halloween version of the Decorar name. So when we look at this animation, it scrolls down and slowly changes its design space to the scattered one. Now there's one point where the text changes to Decorar. Here is the key moment where it changes to Necrovar. Then we hit bottom, then we go back up, and then we change back to Decorar, and then we change back to Decorar, and then we animate back to the top again. We don't have to specify the top coordinate 2 times because we use the is a loop button here, and that means the last key moment will animate to the value of the initial key moment. But that's all covered in the previous lesson. So now let's add some coloring to this. For this I'm going to use inheritance, which will be the topic of a later lesson, but I'm going to use it nevertheless because I can inherit to this line of text object from the parent container, which in this case is the stage. So if I don't select any actor, the stage is selected by default. And I can inherit colors from the stage. This will inherit basically only the text color because the background color of the stage colors the stage and does not inherit. There are some properties that do not inherit. I'm not going to talk too much about inheritance, but I'll give some previews. for the next lesson. So I add one key moment, I call it black text, white background, black white, and I add another key moment which I call red text, as we have seen, and black background. So in my first key moment, I'm going to set these explicitly. So for this, I go to text color, then I can choose the color mode. The default is often no color, and then there's in the software a default color defined. But I can choose to define a color myself, and there are different color models, color modes, color models, which I can choose from. RGB is the best known one. They get 3 components and an alpha component, which I'm not going to show, which I can set explicitly, and now I have a RGB. Oh, they were set explicitly already. Now I have an RGB color color picker, and you can see the red component changes the red color in the RGB model, and the result of the color is a mixture of all the models. And in each of these component sliders, you get a preview of what the color will be when you drag it around. So you have a good idea of what the component does. The other 2 color models are OK LCH and OK LAB. I'm going to start with OK LAB. So this color has been converted into OK LAB from RGB. The OK means in both of these cases that they are okay to use, because there was a fix from the CIE LAB and CIE LCH color models, which makes them, the fix makes them easier and safer to use, especially some kind of the blue spectrum. But I'm not going into details here. These are very nice color models to use. LAB and LCH both have the L channel, and it's meaning that the L component, and the meaning is the same, it's lightness in both cases, and the default location of the A and B axis in the LAB color space is in the center. And from there you can see also that this is a Cartesian. Maybe you cannot see that, but this is a Cartesian coordinate system with an A-axis and a B-axis, and the A-axis goes from green to red, and the B-axis goes from blue to yellow. So this is a bit similar to what RGB does. In the middle, you don't have so much chroma. So let's go to OK LCH, which is my favorite for this kind of work, and I already can see it has the same L component, but it also has a C component, which is the chroma or chromatic intensity component. So the color intensity, if you wish, you can make the color very popping, very intense, especially if the lightness is also intense. And you can turn the chromatic the chroma off, so it's achromatic. It's black and white basically. And when it's turned off, because this is like the magnitude of a vector, and the H, the U, the color value is working in a color circle basically. So turn is one turn is one complete turn of in the circle. It's like 360 degrees. 0 is like no degrees, and somewhere 0.5 is like 180 degrees. But use turn here. So this is the direction in the color circle, and this is the intensity. And if there's no intensity in the chroma, the hue has basically no meaning, or doesn't change the color in conversions. So I can even unset if the chroma is set to 0. I'm going to unset it even because I want to have a black text color. So for this, I'm going to turn off the luminance and the chroma as well. Then I can choose a background color. This is exactly the same model, just using OKLCH, and because default was white, the luminance is turned off, the chroma is turned, like the luminance is turned on all the way, and the chroma is turned off, and the hue does not need to be set with this color, so it's unset. And now I go to red and black, and there we want to have the black background. I'm going to do this right now. See that the background was set to white again as the default, but I'm going to turn it all the way black. Let's animate this. So you see color shift. This is the first color animation that we made. We are animating the background color. It's going to gray down here and then to black up there. Now I'm going to change the text color as well. So using OKLCH. And I want to have a hue in this case. I want to have lightness. I want to have some chroma. I want to have all the chroma basically. I want to have a really intense color. I want to have a red. Now up there we can see the red, but there's also a color patch which we can use to. This is not. I want to have it like 36. I can use it. I can use this to make it just explicitly 36. So this is almost there. This is a big pink, so I'm turning this up a bit. And this is the color I want to have. So you see now the color is animating, but it's not what you've seen before, because it's not totally in sync with the motion and the design space change of the font and the text change. This is because of this button that I turned off in the beginning, because this would be the default when you come to the stage or any actor. The default is end-to-end, but in this case we want to make it a loop, so the last key moment is animated to match the initial key moment. Now we have the right timing for this animation, and our Halloween effect is done. One more thing about inheritance, which I teased already. Let me choose this one. So you can see that this color is totally inherited, and this colored patch changes when the time changes. But when I set this explicitly, this color, to some value, then there's no animation anymore, because this now overrides the inherited value. But if I unset all the components, you can see that we can still inherit it, and that's a nice thing that works when you work with the same color models, especially well with OKLCH, is that we can selectively override values that we have inherited. So in this case, I can be happy with the luminance and chroma change. The chroma change, luminance change are important for this top end of the story, but I do want to change, for example, the color here to green, like the hue value, and I'll inherit all the chroma and luminance settings. You can just choose another color to use in this animation. So inheritance is a nice way also to work with these with color effects in animation. So maybe, well, if I change these, those won't animate anymore. So I can fix this as well. And I have just, here's the achromatic version. And here's a very chromatic version. I can change these aspects as well. So this is a preview to animation, and the next lesson will teach more about inheritance in animation. The next lesson will teach more about that aspect, the inheritance aspects. So let me turn this off. And thank you for watching. See you soon.